Terrifying and creepy photos of real ghosts that will make your skin crawl. The Cooper family falling body. As scary as it looks, this picture has been shrouded in mysteries for years now, and it is probably the most peculiar ghost caught on camera. The story goes back in the mid 1950s, taking place in Texas. The Cooper family had just moved into an old house that they bought and were really excited about it. So they thought of preserving this memory by taking a picture of the whole family in their new home. But little did they know that there was someone else joining in their celebration, a spooky figure hanging upside down from the ceiling. There are perhaps other stories that state that an actual body did fall off from the ceiling exactly at the time the photograph was being taken. Why the face of the body remains darkened is another mystery. A faceless body or a paranormal activity? Who knows which part is true? The hospital demon. This photo was captured by a nurse in a surveillance camera at an unknown hospital. The image shows a dark crouched figure resembling a demon standing on top of a patient's body who was lying in bed. The nurse also noticed the black figure walking up and down the body of the patient. Within a few hours of the dark figure's appearance, the patient had died. As creepy as it may sound, demon-like figures have been reportedly seen at hospitals. Some say hospitals are the breeding grounds for demons. It's where they lurk about, waiting for the next soul to die so they can drag them to hell. However, no authentic sources can be cited in support of such claims. The Amityville Ghost. In the early morning hours of November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. fatally shot his father, two brothers, and sister. The bodies were found face down on their respective beds with no signs of bullet wounds on the corpses or any struggle. And even though the neighbors lived close by, none of them heard sounds, screams, or noises. Mr. DeFeo claimed that ghosts were present during the events and had guided him into eliminating his siblings, though his original intent was just to execute his father. The home at 112 Ocean Avenue eventually went up for sale and was later purchased by George and Katie Lutz, though they were told by the realtor about the tragedy. The Lutzes were so enamored with the home, pool, garage, and 4,000 square feet of waterfront that they immediately made an offer. The next 28 days followed a set of horrific paranormal activities that would shock the Lutz family, from the possessed suicidal dog to the image of half-headed demon on the wall, green slime running off the keyhole, and spirits staring blankly through the bedroom windows. The Lutz family constantly encountered a ghostly presence in the doomed house. Finally, when they could take it no more, they were forced to evacuate the house in a hurry. They called an investigator to study the place, all of whom claimed to have felt a strange presence in the house. One of the investigators happened to click a photo of the boy ghost peeking out of a room. Whether or not facts of this case were stretched or a complex hoax altogether, it still remains one of the most frightening and sensationalized ghost stories of our time. The Pickens County Courthouse Ghost, popularly known as the face in the window, the mysterious face staring out of the Pickens County Courthouse in Carrollton, Alabama, is one of Alabama's best known. Wells is said to have fled to hide in the attic of the third courthouse, which was under construction. As the angry mob searched frantically for him, Wells peered out of the window to watch. To his shock, however, lightning struck him at that very moment and forever etched his face in the window. It is widely believed that to this day the ghostly face of Henry Wells continues to peer down from courthouse window. The Ghost of Oak Grobe, Kentucky, also known as the Ghost Bride. It is surrounded by several different versions of the story, but only one of them can be verified. The ghost roaming at the bridge of an unfortunate wife was thrown off the bridge into the water and killed by her soldier husband in the 1960s. One story also mentions that on a certain night, you can see her decomposing body walking in the area under or the top of the bridge. It is said that if you happen to turn off your car on the bridge, it will not start again unless you push it, or till the sun comes up. Fact or fiction, you decide. The ghost at the Waverly Hills Sanitarium, Kentucky, coughing off blood, overcrowded, understaffed, bizarre unethical twisted treatments. Welcome to Waverly Sanitarium, a medical facility that was once dedicated to treat patients suffering from tuberculosis, long before the modern cure was discovered. Without the antibiotics, the hospital provided the only known cure at that time: fresh air and sunshine. And thus the patients spent the majority of their time in the solarium-like porchways. There were many other unethical ways that were used to treat patients which were downright dangerous, and only 5% of the patients survived the treatment. It is believed that as many as 8,000 patient dead bodies were carelessly thrown down a chute and then taken out of the building through an underground tunnel. This method of disposing the bodies was kept confidential by doctors, others who wanted the patients to be unaware of the quantity of dead bodies. But with the discovery of the antibiotic that could successfully treat and cure tuberculosis, the sanatorium was closed down. Many believe that the spirits of the patients still roam about the hospital in search of answers. The most famous being of a nurse named Myrtle who happened to contract the disease. But the story takes a horrific twist when she was found hanging from the light apparatus in room 502. Some believe she took her own life after she found out that she was pregnant with a child from one of the doctors and unmarried. Tragically, her body lay undiscovered for a long time. The picture is ghostly figure captured on camera, who is believed to be Mary Lee, forever roaming the corridors of the hospital groaning in pain. The ghost of Freddy Jackson. As a squadron of the Royal Air Force assembled together to take a group photo in 1919, no one realized that they would find Freddy Jackson accompanying them in the picture taken by retired RAF officer Sir Victor Goddard. Freddy Jackson was a mechanic for the Royal Air Force who served on board the HMS Daedalus. He was brutally killed 2 days earlier by accidentally strolling into a spinning propeller blade, which caused instant death. His funeral was held the very next day, but eerie as it may sound, Freddie Jackson returned just 2 days later as a ghost for one final time to be part of the group photo. Several of the other men in the photo confirmed that it was in fact Jackson's face in the background of the picture. The Union Cemetery Ghost. Union Cemetery, located in Easton, Connecticut, is considered to be the most haunted cemetery in the United States. Although several ghosts have been seen at this cemetery, the White Lady happens to be the most famous sighting. Many people have managed to capture her on camera, and she has even been caught on film. She is believed to have long dark hair and is seen wearing a nightgown and a bonnet. Her most favorite places where she frequently make an appearance are usually on the roadway alongside Route 59 and Route 111, where she is often hit by oncoming vehicles. One instance reports her of being hit by a fireman in 1993, which left a dent on his vehicle and even heard a thud while hitting her. As the woman appeared in front of his car, he also saw a farmer with a straw hat sitting in the car seat beside him. The cemetery is out of bounds at night and is strictly patrolled by the police. The image happened to be her face with a stream of spooky energy alongside. Latest ghost at the Myrtle Plantation. The house on Myrtle Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana, is home to at least 12 ghosts, the most famous being the ghost of Chloe, who haunts the plantation and is seen wearing a green turban. She was found eavesdropping on Clark Woodruff's personal conversation. As a punishment, one of her ears was cut off by her master, and she wore a green turban to hide it. It is believed that Chloe supposedly baked a birthday cake containing extract of extremely poisonous boiled and reduced oleander leaves as part of her revenge. But her plan backfired. Only Sarah and her two daughters ate the cake, and all died from that poison. Chloe was then supposedly hanged by the other slaves and thrown into the Mississippi River. She still haunts the plantation to this day. In fact, the Myrtle Plantation is considered as one of America's most haunted homes. The Tulip Staircase Ghost. The story behind this picture was that on Sunday, June 19, 1966, An old retired couple from Canada decided to visit the Queen's house due to the much speculation and hype of being haunted. While he was standing near the Tulip staircase, the old man took a picture of it, and when it was later developed, there was a ghostly figure ascending the staircase in pursuit of a second and a third other ghostly figure on the top of the staircase. The camera roll was examined by researchers and they found no evidence of any kind of tampering done with the roll. At the time the photograph was taken, the old man's wife claimed that was standing with him and confirmed there was nothing on the stairs. The staircase itself was closed with a rope and no admittance sign. Strange shadowy apparitions and unexplainable noises of footsteps have been constantly reported near the Tulip staircase by both staff and visitors. There have also been sightings of a pale woman who is seen wiping blood from the bottom of the staircase. She is believed to be the ghost of a maid who came over the highest banister and died at the foot of the stairs 300 years back. One can also sometimes hear creepy disembodied chanting of children, which seems to be coming from within the Queen's house. The Wedding Ghost. At a local barn at Hertfordshire, England, wedding photographer Neil Sandbach was all set for the wedding and started taking pictures of the area. Not long after the wedding, upon developing the photos, Neil discovered something shocking, something that sent chills down his spine. The photograph showed a glowing and clearly floating boy in white clothes staring right at him. He inquired with the staff about the strange or bizarre incident that might have occurred at the farm. The staff admitted to several encounters with what seemed to be the ghost of a boy in night clothes roaming about the farm and sometimes blankly staring from behind walls. Who the ghost actually was and his story both are shrouded in mystery till date. The ghost of the lady and her bulldog, seen in the picture, are a happy mother and her son outside their home in Chicago. They had just moved in and wanted to take a cheerful happy photo. Little did they know that there was someone else who was closely watching them, an old resident or probably someone who still lived in the house. The husband claimed that there was no one at the time the picture was taken or was someone hiding behind the house. Upon development, the face of an old lady and a bulldog can be seen in the door's reflection. The Backseat Driver. In 1959, Mabel Shinnery went to the cemetery to visit the grave of her mother along with her husband. She took some photos of the gravesite and then turned and took this picture of her husband sitting alone in the car's passenger seat. The film was developed and this came out. Somebody sitting at the back seat wearing glasses, clear as day. Mrs. Shinnery swore that the backseat driver was none other than her own mother, whose gravesite she was standing next to when she took the picture.